about 7. I'm gonna get up early to prove a point. I get up early because I'm hyperactive as shit, and between about 3 and 8 a.m. nobody's awake, so nobody bothers me, and I ain't got no distractions. Everything's quiet. Get the most done. Get the most work done. And I'm working right now, and I'm just thinking about one of the favorite things I've heard this year, and that is building with the garage door open. And what does that really mean? I don't want to pretend to be some kind of prophet or to tell you what you should do. I would much rather just show you what I'm doing and tell you why I'm doing it. And I think that with digital and digitization being the focus of a lot of what I'm doing now over the last few years, always, but as a focus now, retaining the human element of this is very important, and remembering that I am a person here in real life working hard to get these things in front of you guys working smoothly, and that I'm, just real and not just what you'll see me as very often sometimes, which is, like a digital person in a digital construct talking to you about digital things. And that's why it's so important to record as that in those environments, talking about those environments. But in the world of crypto and Cryptoart right now, I really feel like the big thing that I don't see are people's faces. So I want to put my face in front of you. And I want to open up a dialogue where, if you see a thing digital, you can respond to that, and I'll respond to you there. But you also can remember that I'm a person, and you can reach out to me, and I'll get back to you. And that what I'm doing now as a creative, the reason I'm so heavily focused on virtual environments, and I have been for so long, and why I've been pushing so hard to get Garden Station open and running, is because I see where that's going. Like, I understand what this means for all of us and how we communicate and the way that we can gather and experience and offer information in digital space. The tools that we have now, we have never had before. The leaps and bounds in technology in the last 3 years have been so upending that half of this shit people don't even know exists, or it seems fringe, or it's mystified, and I want to demystify that. And I want to, of course, be myself and create the work that I create, and the beauty of a virtual environment is I can put all of this digital work into it, regardless of the type. And if you know me, you know I make a lot of stuff. But what I really am trying to do here is to create a space that I can also host other people's work. And I can also invite other people into virtual reality, maybe for their first time, or to have their first virtual reality shows in a high fidelity virtual space in real time with people all over the world in attendance in one instance. Those kinds of things we couldn't do before. And so I'm trying to show you that you don't have to be 50 points above genius IQ to dig in deep and dig into these softwares and these programs and get some hardware and start building something. And building with the understanding that things are changing very fast. And if you do this, your position will be very good in the future. Whether that's as a consumer and just understanding how to be a safe consumer in an increasingly digitized environment where there are many bad actors, regardless of the industry or the space or whatever it could be. But also if you're a creative, whether you're an illustrator or a writer or a transition, virtual space is going to do you a lot of favors. And if you're a business entity, branding and all of that is going to matter. And if you don't think that people aren't going to want to enter your virtual location, you are shooting yourself in the foot, because I promise that when we come back to this conversation, or this video specifically, because this is kind of the first one where I'm really just saying, hey, let's just talk about it and discuss these things. You just wait a few years, not even a few years. Honestly, you go to the end of 2022. I promise. It's going to be a regular part of conversation. We might not all be in these spaces yet, but the surge of their existence is going to increase. And to me, it's fucking wild to know that there aren't that many high fidelity galleries that actually exist. That the ones we do have, we put on pedestals, aren't very high fidelity. They look like Minecraft. I'm sorry to put it out there, but it's just the truth. And these are the ones that we focus on and say that are good. Or these kind of automated gamified websites, like, those are fun. Don't get me wrong, those are fun, they give you the idea, but we're talking about this space as if it exists in the future, when we can show you right now that you don't have to be a genius to make it happen. You can do this too, and the technology already exists, and the platforms already exist. And if we enter this space with this mindset, and for me, if you're watching me over time, it's going to be very much art focused. Woo! Things are going to get wild. Things are going to get so wild. The point is to build space. The point is to create space. And if you build a space that is conducive to creative minds that can come together and collaborate and learn and just talk shop, brilliant things happen. It doesn't matter what industry that's in. But virtual environments provide us the ability to do that. So as we move on, that's why I'm focused on VR. That's why I'm focused on 3D files and .glbs now. And that's why, even as a photographer in 10 years, I love JPEGs, sure. And I'm going to share my photography work. That didn't go anywhere. But I'm not going to lock into an entity and say that's all I do. Right? With virtual environments, I can compartmentalize all of these into quite literal different houses if I wanted to, and display them in a way that does them justice and expresses more about me. And the same can be done for you. So I hope that this kind of kicks off the conversation and the question of, what could I do with this technology? The metaverse isn't far away, it's here now. And if I do about 30 or 40 hours of reading and a few more hours of just kind of pulling some hair out, pressing buttons to understand how it works, I'm going to be in the top, 1%, 2% of people at the front of the space who are talking about this as if it's in the future. So when the time comes that we all mainstream admit that this exists, we'll be right here waiting.